Welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, where in the last episode we recruited Voldrift to our party and then visited his quote-unquote family, or rather his crime gang. We have a quest to talk to Staunton, so that is what we shall be doing first, and then we need to talk to Irbeth about the quest that we now have for these tieflings, and that's going to be difficult because I'm so used to calling them tieflings that that little play on words was a bit confusing to my brain. Anyways, let's talk to Staunton. 2 seconds, please. Sorry. The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high, crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty, lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead. Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the Grey Garrison. Name's Staunton Vane, if you've heard rumours about me. His face, which looks like it has never known anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me, it's true. What do people say about you? They say I am a traitor, as bad as Aralu Vorlish. That I am a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. That Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. That I belong on the gallows. Why do they hate you so much? Really don't know. Staunton gives you a long, morose look, then sighs. I'm the reason why the crusade forces are holed up in fortresses on the edge of the Worldwound, instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the Wound, the mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo what I had done. So that's how I live. Decade after decade, fighting in the condemned. The dwarf shrugs. As you can see, I have fixed nothing, and I haven't earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? It wouldn't surprise me. I'm going to go with a good one. I hope you earn forgiveness. Thank you. From the depths of my soul, I thank you, but I haven't had hope for a long, long time. I need to talk to the elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? Storyteller? Staunton strokes his beard in thought. A strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours, asking about all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort. He just listened. First, I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible, but later I realized that talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he's alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble too, so if he's alone in the city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. For him in the Blackwing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on the map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. I'm a bit curious about that one. A whole city fell because of you? How is that possible? What do you mean, how? The knight glares at you from beneath his furrowed brows. If you don't trust the word of a condemned, go ask somebody else, like my little brother Joran. And if you still don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1000th time, don't. You really don't have any friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I was completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters in the condemned console themselves by thinking, I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. Commander Tirabade seems to be the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past or so, I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise that she's the only one to hold on to her senses to hold on to her sense of reason in this farce. Apologies. So many years in the Condemned, surely you have paid your penance by now. That's not up to me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands. He falls silent for a moment, and in a trembling voice he adds, Condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I have prayed to Torag for forgiveness. Countless times I've gone to his priest, countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the father of dwarven kind would answer my prayers just once. Not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I am still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own god doesn't think I deserve redemption? I have to go. Go on then. Maybe we'll see each other again. Another depressed dwarf?
Let us be careful.
Oh well. Pink guy. Indra? Just wondering if these are possible party members. An imposing young Oread is surrounded by a crowd of crusaders who are hanging on to her every word. I hope this example clearly illustrates the difference between Discard legionnaires from the last war and the crusaders. The perfection of form and spirit they were imbued with during creation turned them into parts of a well-balanced war machine. Not a ragtag bunch of individuals, but a united whole. Now tell me again why I am supposed to be impressed by your reckless assaults, where everyone is fighting for their ego and for the right to beat their peers into a swift but pointless heroic sacrifice. Some of the crusaders grumble unhappily, but it is clear that they are captivated by the woman's words. The only exception is a scraggly and dishevelled halfling monk whose puffy black eye gives him away as a brawler and a troublemaker. He enthusiastically pushes forward and tries to engage, but one of his friends swiftly jabs him in the back with an elbow, making the poor fellow pause to catch his breath. Listen. One of the crusaders angrily curls his fists tightly and retorts with a burst of passion. If those gists of yours, or whatever, had come for us, we'd have their guts for garters. You think we've never fought a mighty adversary before? The soldier's stern facade cannot fully conceal his relish. He clearly plans to enjoy this confrontation. The crusaders around him look upon their exotic opponent with a mixture of irritation and piqued interest. The woman chuckles before cutting off her interlocutor. I would love to see you storm a 60-foot tall walking castle shaped like a gigantic elephant that carries siege fortifications on its back. And I'll have you know, these fortifications were defended by Distkan priest craftsmen armed with demon-bound war machines. They use the enemies you cannot defeat as mindless weapons. The woman gives the people around her a triumphant look and adjusts her hair with pointed nonchalance. Her voice takes on the lecturer's tone. You should not argue with someone who happens to be the most authoritative researcher on the history of warfare the 3,000 years before the foundation of Absalom. The woman looks at you and flashes an amused smile. The lecture is over. Do my esteemed listeners have any questions? You're wrong to treat the Crusaders with such disdain. Allow me to explain. A debate? Oh, I will be happy to prove that the current conflict can't hold a candle to the last war of Gistka. This being Gistka, by... Very well. The last war of Gistka was waged using a significantly greater number of troops. Both sides actively relied on reinforcement from allied planes, and their strategic planning was perfected through no fewer than 7 rounds of intensive design. None of the above applies to this war of yours. Compared to Gistka, we are but stone club-wielding kobolds. I would like to conclude my thesis with a few words of wise counsel from Dagoon, an advisor to the Pharaoh of Forgotten Plagues. I doubt you will comprehend the true genius of his statement, but here it is nevertheless. A gadfly sees the ox. The ox pays no heed to the gadfly, but crimson fever takes them both. I'm going to go with that one. The events of the past are shrouded in legend, but the fate of the world is being decided here and now. That is what you fail to grasp. The earnestness on the faces of those around you has taken away Indara's panache, encouraging her to backtrack and stumble over words. Of course, I am not trying to diminish the importance of current events. What I am trying to say is that from the standpoint of history, and particularly the history of warfare, she falls silent, fixedly staring at the unfriendly eyes of her audience. The true importance of these developments won't become obvious until later. Indara offers a pretentious dismissal. As a scholar, I cannot deny that there is a certain truth beneath your skeptical statements. History is a complex discipline rooted in fact and an evidentiary base that grows ever more meager the farther the described period is from the present moment. Of course, if I were to argue in bad faith, the way crusaders embellish their tales of slaying a single Brimmerak by adding a dozen Baelors, for example, I could win this debate. But I am above such things, and therefore I am forced to admit that your skepticism is not entirely without merit. I am sure you would have been able to expound on your arguments in a longer discussion. Indara nods with obvious relief. I'm glad we both understand this limitation. It is always a pleasure to face a worthy opponent, even if the debate takes place in a grimy tavern. Perhaps especially because of that. Indara unbuckles her sword belt and hands you the weapon. This is a worthy blade. It will be of use not only for the strong, but also for the wise. Claw of Jiska. And this is where I bid you farewell. Before the end of the day, I was planning to observe how winged demons use pack tactics to drive their prey like herds of livestock. It is about time I got back to my research. The hint of a smile graces Indara's lips when she sees disappointment in the eyes of many crusaders around her. Stay safe. That was not exactly what I expected. What's this sword? Ooh. A +1 flaming sword shot. That's nice. Fast finesse wielding. Excellent. Well, let's get back to talking to Irabeth. There is a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who is your informant among the thieflings? Irabeth arches her brows in surprise. Just a sip of water. Kinabras is threatened by a demon horde, and you have enough spare time to help out thieves? Irabeth sighs. I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note, and disappeared. Irabeth hesitates as she tries to remember. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the long horns, didn't fit under it. There should be a guardian golem in Ancientries and Wonders, the shop they try to rob. The owner gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact, so you can interrogate the thing and find out what it saw. Code word is Hand of Aurori. The shop's owner must have escaped, but there's a chance you'll get lucky with the golem. Okay, well, I suppose that... Well, we can shortly rest. Saves up on healing and get the spell slot back.
I do like how spick and span you keep all your things. Your armor is so polished. I could powder my nose without needing a mirror.
Well, I live in hope of the day when you can see me as a person and not just a convenient reflective surface.
16 hours, well then. That is an impressive time to rest.
Tread lightly.
I mean, there's a war going on, and yeah, I'm going to take 16 hours of bed rest now because, you know, I'm tired and so forth. There's the shop. Yeah, we're probably going to have a lot of these random encounters in the city. What is that? A shear. Thing with a goat's head. Retrieve. Go 15 backwards.
Cover me, all right?
Yeah. Ooh, that thing is quick.
Into the fray!
Go for their hearts!
Doesn't seem I can avoid an attack of opportunity, so... I think he's going to get an attack of opportunity on me.
You won't survive me.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
Attack!
Stab you or zap you. Why not both?
One attack, that's a shame. Ooh. Good thing that thing missed, because that looked painful.
The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Bardish. No idea who she is. I'm really curious about her. This place looks thoroughly ruined. Hello? Is anyone here?
I found something!
Demonic heart. I hear your footsteps. Pull me out. Hello. Yeah, I'm gonna loot the place first and I'll get back to you. Pipe fox. I'm gonna put that on Galadron. There.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Gold ring. The polished oak shelves once showcased magic rings and amulets. Now all that's left are the grubby handprints of the robbers. Unique weapons and antique armor were previously displayed on these stands. It is unlikely their new owners even know their true value. Some scrolls have been torn apart and some have been trodden on by muddy boots. Yeah, I'll get to you. Stop complaining. The polished oak shelves, blah blah blah. We've already seen that. What is this? The formerly well-appointed shop now looks a sorry state. It has been completely ransacked. Helped a little bit by me. Lying in the corner next to a scorched wall are the soot-covered shards of a clay golem's head. The golem's eyes glow in the gloom. Master, code word, 2, 3, 4. Under by Rory. Code word, correct. The golem's eyes glow brighter. Awaiting orders. I'm not going to talk in that. Where did you come from? Who created you? This golem was created by Gaffrin and Son, address 3rd building on the right, Jeweller's Alley, Nerosian, Mendev, Model G504ENE, which stands for Experimental and Enhanced. For all inquiries, contact Mr. Gaffrain. Tell me about any suspicious people who came to the shop in the last week. The golem is silent for a moment. 56 individuals entered the shop. Human, female, old, gnome, male, old, human, female. He'll be reeling off customers till nightfall. I'll need to ask it in a different way. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? Golem is silent for a while. Tieflings, 3, tiefling male, middle-aged, tiefling male, young, tiefling female, young. Describe the young male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, short horns curling backward, medium length tail, eye color yellow, hair color black, special observations, annoyed master, horns, hair, tail. That sounds like me, but it's not possible. I know what the security is like here. I didn't come near the place. I give you my word, Chief. No special observations. Subject was unremarkable. There, see? Can't have been me. Describe the middle-aged male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, long horns, medium length tail, eye color pale blue, skin color dark, special observations, red hair. Oh, that's our traitor. I'd bet your life on it. Charismate drilled it into our heads that we wasn't to go hanging about the shop. Red hair. We've got a couple of gingers, and plenty more who get it out of a bottle. So much for a special observation. Golems ain't all they're cracked up to be, eh? Maybe its master knows more. Describe the female tiefling. Tiefling female, above average height, hair long, pale, tail not observed, long horns, eye color blue, special observations, scar on nose, baldric with gold stitching. I don't know that one. A new arrival most likely. Gold stitching, eh? Wouldn't mind getting to know her a little better. Enough. Where is your master? Philemon Fruliatos. Philemon Fruliatos, my master is in his hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited. 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 He likely holed himself up in the basement when the commotion started. The entrance should be around here somewhere. Where is the basement in this place? The basement is below me. I guard the basement. Leaving my post is prohibited. I found out everything I want. Athletics, eh?
The mongrel did it.
Now I saw there was a hand there. I don't know what that is. Finnian, the talking weapon. Oh god, it's not. Ooh, free at last. I thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under all that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is still foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? The name's Finnian. I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will. You're a Pathfinder? That's right. Finnian Disbar, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the Worldwound wherever my tasks lead me. Scouting mostly. But this last while I've just been hanging around in Canarbris, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least this shop makes for better lodging than some inn. What I meant was, what are you? What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it? Well, I'm from around here, actually. We Kelids of the Star-Eye clan fled when the Worldwound troubles began. But I couldn't stand by while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came back. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I'm best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks like me Phantom Blades. Phantom Blade? What's that? It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means that some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and I can turn into whatever weapon I need. Handy, eh? I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although, to be fair, it's not a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors. The city is under attack by the demons. Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. The guards came and everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. Couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came along. If there are demons in Canarbris, we must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone, and besides, the more the merrier. How did you end up in this shop? Ah, I've been here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from the Pathfinders, but it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinders, so I've taken up residence here. Alright, I'll take you with me. I swear you won't regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword? A spear? A bow? Just say the word. What the heck is this thing? Where is it? I have no idea. Well, it doesn't appear we have it in the inventory currently. Maybe we'll get it if we do something special. Let's go to the basement. Bottles here. Can fetch a nifty little price.
I hope you appreciate this.
Philemon Froliatos. The elderly gnome, so portly as to be nearly spherical, is curled up in the corner of the basement, shaking. Marauders! Bandits! Scavengers! Yeah, makes sense. We're all of those things and much, much more. Before you report us to the authorities, mind if we have a chat? Please, calm down. Nobody's going to rob you. At least not us. The gnome peers at you. You do look better dressed than the local thieves and ragamuffins. You came here to tell me that the nightmare is over? No, it's not. You're here to steal my riches. Get back! The gnome notices Voljif, and his rounded face turns scarlet. You, Voljif, the dirty little sneak thief. You've been sniffing around my shop for years. Finally worked up the courage to rob me, did you? Get out of here. You and your pals have taken everything already, I'm sure. The gnome seems to settle slightly. My name's Philemon Froliatros. I was the owner of this shop, but I'm not sure I can claim to be the owner of anything now. I hope there's at least something left of it. Oh, come off it. Your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked, maybe, but nothing a bit of spit and polish can't fix. Where were you the night of the robbery? Do you think I robbed my own shop? I was here, in the basement. I was told to make it look like I'd left. The watch was very keen to get their hands on those thieflings. They seemed to be multiplying all over Golarion, so of course I did everything they said, and I've been stuck in this basement since then. The golem wouldn't move away from the door, no matter how much I yelled at it, but then I thought that it was all to the good. Somebody came by after the guards and caused a ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the tieflings that have visited Ancientries and Wonders recently. Why should I tell you anything about my customers? You're not from the City Guard or the Eagle Watch. Chief, if he keeps digging his heels in, just say the word. I know how to loosen his tongue. I'm helping the Eagle Watch to catch the culprits. It's in your interest to tell me everything. Succeeded. So they haven't got the tieflings? I thought the city's finest were on the job and they'd... The gnome sighs. Can't rely on anyone. Ask your questions then, if it's so important. Tell me about Voljif. Philemon's face wrinkles in distaste. Voljif Jefto, right? Yes, I've known him a long time, though I'd rather not known him at all. He's been skulking around my shop for years, treating the place like a free museum. He always wanted to look at the moon of the abyss. I'd chase him out, but he'd just slink back in again. If he was with that gang that robbed my shop, I'll bet anything he swiped the moon. Come, I'm the prime suspect. Whoever betrayed us all, that's the one who's got the moon. I want to see it return too, you get me? I don't like the idea of other people's grubby mitts on it. Tell me about the red-haired tiefling. Philemon falls to thinking. A red-haired tiefling. I suppose, yes, there was one who came in, spent a long time looking around. He was a person of modest means, I could tell by his clothes, but he asked me to show him an Aasimar-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspected that something was off. I checked everything after he left, but nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember what he looked like. I didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember is that he was wrapped in a green cloak, like he was freezing. But that's all I have. That's it. With that description, we'll surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief. Back to Sister Charisme we go to have a long good shifty at all my brothers and put all these clues together. Something tells me our traitor isn't gonna wriggle out of this one. Tell me about the tiefling woman. Philemon scratches his chin. Tiefling woman. Ah yes, I remember now. A noble lady, unlike the tiefling ruffians we all have around here. She purchased magical equipment for the crusade, and she promised to come again. If only all tieflings were like that, I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. I found out everything I wanted to know. If that isn't enough to help you catch the thieves, then I don't know what else to tell you. Now be on your way and leave me in peace with my wreck of a shop. Else we can loot down here? No. Oh. Check. So I guess we are going to head back to the thieflings hideout. Probably the combos along the way. No, no. Charisme drums her finger nervously on the handle of her blade. Well, are you going to tell me who the traitor is? The name and the moon of the abyss that they stole? I don't need anything else. A good look at the suspect. The tieflings are tense and ready to reach for their weapons. The only redheads are Melroon and Doffy. The dark-skinned tieflings are Varnir, Doffy, and Melroon. Doffy, Melroon, and Tavi have straight horns, but Tavi is female. Only Varnir and Melroon have green cloaks. So it would be Melroon then. I'm ready to give a name. Well, go on, tell her. The traitor is Melroon. You'll pay for this. Votiel and Hepsamira will get you in the end. Grab him. Take him away from questioning. Charisme looks weary, but her earlier tension has clearly lifted. He confessed. Someone connected to the cult of Baphomet ordered him to steal the Moon of the Abyss, and the best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem, and he betrayed us to Erebeth so that he could swipe the amulet up in the chaos. He thought we'd get nicked, and he'd slink off to meet up with his customer. You've got the Moon of the Abyss? We're looking at it one. My whole life I've dreamt of holding it in my hands, if only for a second. He said when he got to the window display the moon was gone. Lying, of course. He had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it. Cultists, I don't really give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of this. What are you going to do now? Clear out of this place. The sooner the better. This city's dying. I don't want to die with it. This city would already have died. The people who stood up to defend it with weapons in their hands. So defend it. I'm not stopping you. It's your city. But we've always been outsiders here. Why would we fight for you now? What are you going to do to the traitor? Charisme nonchalantly picks her at her nails with a knife tip. He'll be sent to visit his distant relatives on their farm. Think about what he did. Any more questions? I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Charisme turns to leave. Sister? Waldriff nervously bites his lip. His cheeks are flushed and his tail is swishing through the air. You forgot something. What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology. You promised to apologize to me loudly in front of everyone. We're alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well? Ah, that. Charisme shrugs indifferently. So, sorry, I suppose, for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time that it cancels out the rest of your record. I know all about you. Till next time, Waldriff. That was the most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Too bad, because that's all I've got. Nah. Oh well. Waldriff watches her go, his tail relaxing. Better than nothing. Listen, Chief, when you've got a spare minute, come see me. I've got something I want to discuss with you. But for now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above is ready to crash down on our heads. Or wine bottles. Corn liquor. And wine. I don't need that, but I can take the rest. Ooh, lockpicker's kit. What's up with the door over there?
Now, what is that? I am helpful, am I not?
Yeah, I'll take that. He said something about not being able to lock the vault. Well, we just did that. Did? So we should go back here.
We are the light. They
Another
are
one
the
of those.
darkness.
Distract them from me.
Endure this!
That wasn't too hard. Should find Waldriff and talk to him. So we know what he probably wants to join us permanently, but it's nice to get it confirmed. What's this? This place has been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. Okay. That's handy to know. Where is Waldriff? There he is.
Psst, look, Chief, I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
So, you did betray the Thieflings?
Oof, that cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that.
Well...
Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over. But only because I want to see the world. Is it a crime to want to travel, huh? Is that what counts for treachery these days?
You really have the amulet this whole time.
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Remind me, why is this item so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancientries and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss, an amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
You've been searched by guards. How did you manage to hide the amulet?
Thieves have their ways.
Yeah, let's probably not go into that. Why didn't you give the amulet to Charisme right away?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Canabras and all this. So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth, and Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm sick of the thieflings, and they never appreciated me anyway.
So why did you steal the Moon of the Abyss? You wouldn't have been able to sell an item so rare anyway.
Why, he asks? It's expensive, pretty. And you know, it's my amulet, actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it.
Uh-huh.
She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My mom was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. But she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders.
Interesting. So he actually stole his own inheritance. Right, okay.
I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid. He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garand. I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
Well, atone for your crimes by serving the crusade.
If I serve anybody, it should be you. And only because I owe you. I don't care if the whole of Canabras drops into the abyss. I don't trust all these crusaders or Galfrey. They just take people's money to spend on crusades, but what's the point? If anyone calls me a crusader, I'll spit in their face, just so you know. Even if it's you, Chief.
Yeah, he's very passionate about that.
Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief. I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family. And we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables. So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
So we've got Voldriff as a permanent companion then, I guess. Let's see, show me what you can get using your thief... Well, he wants to be let go, of course. Show me what you can get using your thiefling connections. Interesting. Quarterstaff of Slip. Well, nothing that I would find very useful currently. I suppose I could sell things to this guy. This one, I'm not sure if we need a short sword, but I'll keep it for now. It doesn't weigh that much, so... Counterfeit Darek Sunhammer's jewelry, okay. Get rid of these things. Should probably do the same thing that I did back in my Pathfinder Kingmaker series and just sell things off camera. So I'll probably do that from now on out. There we go. And with that, I think we have reached the end of this episode. We seem to be done with this quest. That's not too bad. It's going to be a long series, this, that is for sure, but I didn't expect anything else, so I hope you guys will enjoy this series together with me. It's going to take quite some time to complete this game, especially when I'm reading out what everybody says. That doesn't help on the time consumption, but I'm enjoying it, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it as well. So, if you have any questions or comments, of course, please feel free to leave those in the comment section, of course, and I hope to see you all in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me, and toodaloo for now.